What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today is January the 30th. I want to give you a quick pre-market update over some hot movers and what big money is focusing on today. Before we get into any of that, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So starting off with data points, we did have PPI come out at early this morning. 0.5 was the actual, 0.2 was the forecast. So kind of does signal that inflation still a little bit sticky. So not necessarily the greatest for that. But then again, the market was already negative prior to that one data point. So Dow is down 0.55, S&P down 0.49, NASDAQ down 0.67, silver is down 16.04%. So market's not looking too great right now. Of course, today is the last trading day before potentially another government shutdown. And if you want to compare the previous kind of shutdown scenario to this, well, we did have two very red days, and then eventually the market ran to kind of all-time highs. So in my opinion, this might be potentially noise. At the same time, a lot of people are still talking about Microsoft's earnings and AI bubble, so that's still resonating in the broader market and most likely really hitting a lot of growth stocks, a lot of growth in tech and whatever. So again, you might have some volatility, but if you do believe in whatever stock out there, maybe buy the dip or whatever, but definitely today will be most likely a rocky day. Fear and greed index is under the greed category. So in theory, people's appetite for risk is on the table, but most likely I do see this dipping back probably too close to the neutral. So that's something as well that could potentially happen. SoFi did put out their earnings and they did do fairly good as per usual. So it's up about 5.95%. It's really unfortunate that SoFi actually did have kick-ass earnings on a very red day. Because otherwise I'm sure it would have gone up significantly more. You never know what could happen, I guess, during the pre-market though, or once the trading day does open. Shorts are returning about 32,000 shares, 9.25% of the free floats being shorted, works out to be 114 million shares overall are being shorted. So today will be interesting to see what they do as well. They could easily piggyback off of the broader market, double, triple down, and really try to suppress SoFi, or they could let up and start to return. So today, analyzing this will be interesting. So stay tuned for my dedicated SoFi video on my other YouTube channel, Trending Stocks. Right now, with it at 25.83, it is right above this pivot point. So 25.73 will be a key pivot, because if not, it could possibly consolidate back to that 25.18. Flip side, next strong target is going to be 26.28. Moving on, NIO is up 2.31%. Today is the last trading day for them prior to their monthly numbers coming out. So I think there's going to be, again, a certain level of FOMO that does come out. Shorts are increasing 840,000 shares though, so they are definitely throwing a lot at NIO to try to suppress it. 7.95% of the free floats being shorted. Right now with that 489, it is above this 483. So for right now, just watch for 494, 483 to be the next strong target and support. So that's if you're day trading or whatever else. Best case scenario, NIO closes above 494, and then that way, most likely going into next week, we could be seeing $5. Moving on, SanDisk. So they did put out their earnings, and that was pretty much on point. And yeah, they're doing phenomenal. So it was at $45 back in August, now $539, and $660, I guess, after our pre-market right now. So crazy stuff. Shorts are returning about 38,000 shares, 5.16%. of the free float is being shorted, works to be 7.13 million shares overall being shorted. I very rarely do feel bad for shorts, but whoever's been holding on to short, like whoever's been holding on since September, because back then short interest was 5.67. So they've been holding on this whole time. Did dip a little bit, but man, they lost a lot, insane amount of money. So definitely, again, I don't really overly feel bad, but man, that's brutal of a day. Right now with it at 660, it is above all the key fib levels, but looking at the classic, 709 and then pretty much 452 is going to be the next strong, extremely strong support and resistance points. So given the momentum, it is fair to assume that 709 is on the table. Might not hit today given the market circumstances, but definitely the technicals are pointing to that. But Moving on, Thursday after hours, Apple did put out their earnings, somewhat mixed. This is kind of what's holding it back, so some of the risks and concerns. So it looks like iPhone supply constraints, memory price inflation, and kind of, again, more supply constraints. That's generally what the market doesn't want to hear. So Apple is pretty stagnant right now. Shorts are increasing 80,000 shares. 0.78% of the free float's being shorted. Works to be 114 million shares overall being shorted. So definitely interesting stuff. I don't see shorts being that big of a deal. I've actually never really looked at Apple's short interest, but you do see a lot of FTDs. So there is some interesting stuff happening behind the scenes. Plus, shares on loan is only 30.65 million, but number of shares being shorted is 114. So surprisingly enough, there is some signs of naked shorting with Apple. But with it right now at 258, it is trading currently between this R3 and this R2. So 255, 260 is going to be the next strong target and support. So if you're wanting to kind of dollar cost average, day trade, just kind of watch for those. And then last but not least, CPNG. So they are surprisingly up about 3.4%, largely because of Trump kind of looking at Kevin Warsh as Fed chair. And so because he is currently a board member. So there's that correlation for that. Regarding shorts are increasing about 3,000 shares. Nothing too crazy. 1.8% of the free float's being shorted. Works to be 25.8 million shares overall are being shorted. Right now with a 20 and change, it is trading between this S2 and this S3. So 20.99 is going to be that key point to watch for today, and it really needs to get above that. So just watch for that 20.99. And if it closes above it, then you never know. You could see easily that 22, possibly 24 in the short term. But if it does continue to stay below it, then anticipate 18. Let me know your thoughts on these stocks. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. One final thing, pop over to my Patreon if you're looking for some solid buy signals on stocks, options, crypto. Put out daily day trades, numerous swing trades. Worthwhile to pop over there and check that out. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.